Good afternoon. TriQuint has expressed interest in automating or batching the conversion from the Gerbers and VIAs into the ANF format. And the NetXG program is actually built as a command line based engine that does the conversion. The GUI that you saw in the first video actually prepares a command line and a resource file and then runs the engine. So I'm going to show you what's behind the GUI, and you'll be able to see that this is something that TriQuint will be able to implement fairly easily. On the left hand side here we have a command line, the same command line essentially I used to do the conversion, and it calls this program called NetX Manager and passes the name of a NJB file, which is our NetX job file, and that contains a bunch of directives and parameters. It also specifies where the output's going to go, where the temporary files are going to be, and then a number of different arguments to control the conversion. Now, with the exception of the window, these arguments will probably never change from job to job. The window may change depending on the size of the substrate. Now let's look in some detail at this NetX job file. It's also an ASCII file. Many of the items in it don't change from run to run. The first important item is the layer stackup, as you can see. This is the same stackup used for before. It basically has 7 metal layers and 6 dielectrics, and you set the thickness. Everything else after the thickness is essentially optional. And then the program needs to know where to find these layers, so there's a section that basically is a path. It gives each item in the stackup the full path to where it can be found. Gerber files can be drawn with normal polarity or reverse, and we support both as long as you indicate which it is. The same applies to the drill files. In this case they're all in the same directory, but they don't have to be. Then the rest of the directives control the conversion. You'll see that there's directives for working directory and maximum number of points, things like that, and finally where the output goes. So this is really quite a small file, and it only needs a couple of sections that are customized to the number of layers and the order of the layers. If you've prepared files like this, then you can actually just run the translation, which I'm going to do. I have here a DOS box. I'm going to go to a directory here where I have created a run.bat file, which is just this command line you saw. You see that command line appearing there. Well, that was only about 5 or 6 seconds. Now let's go to our output, and let's do a directory. And you can see that it produced the ANF file that we need to send to Designer or to HFSS. So it's really that straightforward. You can help customize little routines that will produce those files, and we can document them. Thank you.